Hello, everyone. And we'll be discussing about the utilization of LLM at Merpay and Mercoin. And as of now, like the global tech companies and e-tech companies, and who's been investing on those LLM technologies, and which we'll be discussing about, and how we are tackling with this. And this is going to be one of the focus or the highlight of this year's event. And yesterday, Google Cloud, Large Vision, Language Visions, LLMs with a vision, and for that text message, there was an announcement about it, and image, the search, and that has been published. At Mercari, the learning data has been provided, and we've been collaborating with them. And there was an announcement yesterday that I have found, and I think that this is a timely information. Let's start now. Let's start from the self-introduction. And yesterday, we also introduced Merpay AVPOE, and my name is Yutu, and I will be facilitating this. And before I joined the company in May, until then, on the web, the search technologies, and that's where I was engaged with in the past. And for the language models, I did not think that it's going to be very popular, and there was a great development like this. And generative AI, Mazu-san is here as well, so we can probably have a deep dive discussion here today. Hey, Mazu-san, can you start the self-introduction? And hello, and I am at Mercari, and Mazu speaking. And in terms of the generative AI that I am engaged with, and until then, 2000, which year was it? 2021, and the Soto Shop was established, and until then I was a representative of that company, and 100% I am actually committing to this generative AI. And before I started the Soto, and I was at the Merpay, and the funding the Merpay, starting at the Merpay, and then also Torisai in terms of the financial, the credit checking area, and that I was engaged. And today we'll be discussing about Merpay Mercoin, LLM, the usage, and I'm very happy to be here, and I am honored to be here. Thank you. And Tori-san, please. And hello, everybody. My name is Torigoe, and 2018, I actually joined the Merpay as the for the AML engineers, and I was in charge of that, the applications in that area, and then also as of now, the Merpay's machine learning area, I was a manager, and then also LLM, which we'll be discussing today, in utilizing those new technologies and provide the new the values. And I am also a manager of that team. And today, in the past 6 months, and what we've been doing, and based on our experience, we'd like to have a great, fun discussion. Thank you. And now, if there's a question, and regarding LLM, I think that there will be lots of questions. And hashtag Merpay Mercoin Tech Debt Fest, and that's where you can post the question. And please post the question if you have. And with the X, and we'll be waiting for your questions. And now, and we would like to move on to the first theme, and what we've been doing LLM area in Mercari. And Mazu-san, could you probably start discussing about it? Thank you. And now we'll talk about the Mercari Group's generative AI, what we've been doing in that area. And please go to the next slide. And starting in May at Mercari, and we have set up the exclusive team for the generative AI in LLM. And go to the next slide. And the mission of this team is that there's two missions, and using the generative AI and LLM technologies, and then we are going to create the new customer experience and also the maximize the impact of the business. And the second mission is going to be the Mercari group and over 2,000 people of the employees that we have, and we would like to increase the productivity dramatically. And that is the second mission, and we are now working on that, and as much as possible. And because this is the exclusive team, and we would like to be immobilized with this. And next, and within the team, and there's the two things that we are focusing on, and what is the enabling and the building. And for this generative AI technologies, and we should not close this within just one team. And therefore, as much as possible, we would like to roll up to the 2,000 people at the Mercari, and who needs to be able to utilize at a full scale. And so those kind of activities that we are working on that. And as much as possible, we would like to promote the usage of these kind of technologies, and that is the enabling part. And another thing. And we would like to produce or build something. So the building is another area that we focus on. And for the enabling, and this is what we're doing, and creating the guideline that is the first part. And at the Mercari, and until then, and we've been investing in AI, ML engineers, and there's many of the people who is in engineer and generative AIs and the democratization of the AI, and that is one part of that. And therefore, just the regular the software engineers in general will be able to play with that, and therefore you should feel face, and so that you can develop this. And we are going to create the guideline based on that, and we are aligned with the other teams as well. And then also, a lot of people are quite busy and cannot focus on this, and therefore we are hosting that hackathon type of the meetings. And then if we play with that, and then you'll be able to understand much better. And therefore, we provide such the opportunities. And once in April and June, and then now we are doing this. So every quarters, and we have the hackathon event. Quite often we do this. And next. This is one of the example of the building, and within the team, and this is what we have done. And this is the exclusive the tools for the Mercari employees, and it is ChatGPT, and sometimes in February and March, and open AI is ChatGPT. And if you enter some information, then that is going to be utilized for their learnings, and therefore we cannot actually put our business informations, and this is going to be exclusive for the Mercari employees. So you can put those kind of informations as well. And also, if you are the employees in that case, and you'll be able to utilize the GPT-4 for free of charge, and the Google models that is also supported, and with the same prompt, and what the output is going to be changed. That's you can try. And next, and this is our focus, and existing product that we are going to apply the LLM. And within the Mercari, this is just the image, and in the group as a whole, and there's many functional teams exist, and therefore align with those teams, and we develop the products. And there's two different patterns apply for this, and please go to the next. And the first one is to be led. And LL team, we lead this, including from the plan to implementation, and that is first one. And the second one, co-creations, and with the function team, and they will actually take a lead in the project, and then, and the property area, which model, or which tool, how to use it, and those kind of the details advice that we provide to them. And basically, the function team will lead the project. So that is the second part. And Mercari's teams, like fintech as well, ML engineers, and there's a lot of ML engineers within the teams of Mercari. And therefore, in that case, they will take that second one's co-creation approach, and they can share what's is their findings. And in terms of the initiatives, And for the existing product, we would like to apply this generative AI in LLM technologies, and that covers a wide areas. And even though it's a fintech, however, in the fintechs, and there's many different types of the use cases. And then also beside this, and the internal tools implementations, and then also using these technologies and create some kind of the new the business areas, and those things that we are trying right now. And no, because this is a team exclusive for this technology and for technology area that we are investing in.
So the model selection. So I know the LLM API should be fully utilized, and we have to think about how to use, and also the number of OSS models. So we will do some fine tunings, and then finally. And so number 3, we haven't really started, but someday, so we'd like to create our, again, so foundational model by ourselves. So thanks to LLM development, there's greater ecosystem players. So therefore, we are trying and all days to find the new ones and attractive ones. So every day we see the new ones, so it's quite difficult for us to try everything, but we like to find the one which we can apply to our product, so that we can get the feedback from users of such a product. Thank you. So in Slack, so I know the software engineers are touching this type of generative AI, so I'm saying that already. So at the same time, so the LLM deployment in fintech, which is a little bit different from Mercari. So Tori-san, can you cover this point? So Merpay and fintech. So when the LLM comes to light, well, we have a variety of engineers. So the engineers were checking them out. But for the LLM, we have to have some dedicated focus. So probably at the same time, as Made-san, we have set a dedicated team. So initial 3 months. So engineers created a plan and also ran POC. But having only ML engineers, it's quite difficult to come up with use cases. Therefore, we wanted to hear the ideas from others. So LLM competition. So Google meeting were held. So this is a competition for new ideas presentations. So we had that kind of meetings to get ideas from non-ML engineers. So that was done in Japan. So again, we just wanted to catch up with the latest trend, and at the same time gather the ideas both from engineers and non-engineers. So that's what we have done. So Google meeting. So I think New2-san participated. On my day 1, when my Slack account was active, so that I got the request to become a sponsor for this Google meeting. And at the time, I didn't know what this meeting was designed for, but we saw the rapid progress. So this, the ideas discussed in the Google Kaigi were really translated into some of the actual use cases. So can you talk about that? So we are currently working on that for some we ran the POC and also to presented that into a Google meeting. And the team members said the created a presentation video, so we'd like to show you this.
Using the LLM, how we modify that the sentence, which I would like to talk about. And now self-introduction and HMGJ, and that is my name, and at Merpay, and I am in charge of that machine learning. And in 2018, I moved to Merpay, and I'm in charge of that the designs for the credit checking or the credit models focusing on the machine learnings and the natural language processing. And to 2023, April of this year, technologies such as LLM will be the focus, and I am a member of a team that is working on to catch up with these the new technologies, which I would like to talk about it today. An agenda for today is going to be here an overview, and then also the challenges and the tools at the very end. And I would like to give you the summary. And first, at Mercari, as many touch points with stakeholders, like shown in here in this diagram. For example, in-app notification to the customers and campaign information, and commercial or delivered the language of the Mercari's wordings is promoted in many places, daily basis, and there are many touch points beyond the corporate and the product framework in the media, and therefore the wording, so the language is very important and it's very influential, and this is why it is very important to check the wordings of our internal the documents. A system to check this is very important. We have developed a tool to check the proofreading of these the documents by using LLM. And I would like to introduce our effort in this area. Now I'd like to introduce the actual issues that we had, and also how we have solved the issue. The issue that we would like to solve is very simply speaking like this. And first, and there's a wording rules, but wording rules are not widely known to all the people. So in some cases, it is difficult to utilize them. Secondly, although the checking is performed while looking at the wording rules, the numbers of the items is extremely large, and there are the limit to how much checking can be done by humans. And even if it could be done, it would take a great deal of time. So I was wondering if there was some kind of system that would allow everyone to easily check wordings and perform it in a short period of time. These were functional requirements. And there are three. It's not something that you correct and the documents are given. It's not the end. And there are more requirements which we internally discussed. And the first is that the text of the point to be checked needs to be visualized in the text. The second is to be able to understand the reasons for the points made clearly based on which wording rule was applied. that have to be well understood by users who actually collect the sentence. And they're supposed to be able to output the document with the entire points pointed out and corrected. These three functions were required. And thirdly, I would like to introduce how we have created in-house tool using LLM to implement in order to fill requirements. And this is a demo tool which we have created, and with this I would like to explain.
So for demo, we try to make it simple. First of all, the text displayed here includes some example sentences, and that you can see the result in the bottom. The unique feature of this UI is that each company has its own set of rules for wording, so users can choose which part of the rules they want to use. So if you press the submit button, so you can activate the proofreading, and next page will show you the result. And you can see the content after proofreading. So it's a little bit complicated, so let me explain that. And the first one is annotated remarks. So this model is used to indicate which parts of the text are pointed out, and the points are indicated in colors so that it is easy to see which part are annotated, and each color indicates the reason. The second section, explanation of the pointed out section, and shows the reason for the being pointed out and what the reasons are based on the wording rules. Finally, the right side of the screen called suggestions outputs the corrected text of the overall suggestions. If the user has any suggestions that are definitely different from a GPT model, so he or she can choose not to adapt the model suggestions. So that's all for the tool introduction. So now I'd like to briefly introduce the logic behind it. So we know there are three simple steps involved. The first is to check for typographicals and grammatical errors. Second is unique wording, which is checked in accordance with each company's own rules. And finally, proofreading section. So to check for errors in the context of the text, even the text itself is correct, and or that information might not be up to date. So again, so these are the three steps. The flow we have created to implement this is as follows. You can see user input and output information from the left side, so that this flow is not being supported all by LLM, but it uses conventional natural language processing, and wordings can be flexibly devised using the prompt of an OpenAI and chat. Again, the checking of public information is done using raw indexes where data is entered from the outside, checked against the given text, and checked to see which parts are correct or incorrect. Finally, I'd like to summarize. So as a summary, based on the LLM, so we created an in-house text editing tool based on GPT 3.5 models. Again, the LLM is excellent at generating main sentences and also the pointing out reason for correction. And so we also use the conventional techniques and as a method in the areas that can be done without LLM. So I myself as ML engineers. So when it comes to trained model handling, and so that is not from the same as what I'm accustomed to. So it was quite interesting learning experience to me. So the sentence proofreading, so we have utilized the LLM. Well, thank you very much for your attention. So thank you very much. So again, in Gugen Kaigi, so I saw a lot of, again, a sentence automatically populated. So I know it's a typical use case. But probably there are some uniqueness of LLM application in the domain of fintech. So I could see that people are very proactive using LLM as a part of process in the fintech domain. But Tori-san, would you like to talk about the uniqueness associated with fintech? So if I look at the fintech side, so there is inflexibility. So because we are the regulated industry, so at the same time, so whenever we communicate with the customers, so because of the regulation, it's quite difficult. Of course, we can use a rule-based approach, but it's boring. Sometimes it's not really easy for a customer to understand our message. So speaking of LLM, so that LLM can bring the flexibility and can offer more like a human touch to it. And LLM can make very complex information easier for a customer to understand. So therefore, we can get closer to customers using the LLM. So there are certain points that only LLM can do. So that's for the product side. But for when it comes to internal use case, and once again, we are in a regulated industries, and we have to report to regulatory authorities. And also the engineers involved and also risk management personnel involved. We all speak in Japanese, but it's quite difficult to summarize and all of the thought. So for internal communication should be improved. I think LLM has a certain potential. Well, like incident report, for instance. So for incident report, the output required high quality, but for quality management. So do you have any idea? Well, honestly speaking, we don't have a right answer yet. So we just doing our work and while trying to find the right solution. It doesn't matter we are fintech or not. I think there are some common denominators. So by talking with Maje-san, we are working on to develop the company guideline, hallucination, and also how to protect privacy, and also quality assurance. That's an area we are currently working on. But looking at the system only, but we had to understand the audience. And audience is audience customers or internal users. Also, how to handle the policy, and we have to consider all of this element when we considered quality enhancement. So that was my learning experience in this past 6 months. And also, we like to drill further when it comes to LLM applications. So I have tried LLM, but other than ChatGPT, I haven't really seen any actual use cases. So, but two of you are using this LLM almost every day. So what are the challenges and how are you generating the values out of LLM? So Maje-san, can you talk about that? So I think if I give you some abstract image, so there are certain work which can be done by machine. So we can free up people for the work which can be done by machine, so that the people can engage in more value-added work. So I think these are the use cases.
Other than that, the current quality, and also when we think about the accuracy and the quality, then if you do manually, and in a case you may be able to achieve the 100%. However, the speed might be needed in the case the achievement can be done at 60%, but that would be okay in some cases, and iteration cycle can be faster. And if the requirement is like that, in that case we can use it. And without the we may be able to use it. However, we use it intentionally, like SEO, the backside of that logic, we use the LLM. And for SEO, a meta tag is created. And then also the load data for analysis, we put the load data, and it's not manually done, but GPT will actually do that analysis. And we use it for the pre-processing, and of course that the people or the human will take a look at later for just checking. But we'll be able to reduce time if we use that technologies, and we'll be able to utilize in many areas internally, including into a product as well. And from that particular point, as I have mentioned, that realization, the meetings and development period was less than 1 month. However, the prototype was quite good, even though in such a short period of time. And in 1 year, with the matured the technology, if we use that in the case, our score would be 100%. However, with the LLM, we do it quickly, and the score might be 60%. However, we can access, we can accelerate to make it prototype. And in case of NLP, for the negative analysis, it may done everything in details. However, with the LLM, and instantly you can actually get the outcome to a certain levels. And I think that's where we can use it. Yes, I agree to that. The people who actually did that NP, and it took so long before. And of course, that the human have to check. However, instantly or at the very high speed, you can get the outcome, and that's what we were internally discussing about it. And so we used to have the bad experience because it took so long, and now we can do it right away with this technology. And the other area, that is general people, how they use this, and that's another aspect that we have to think. And us, from the prompt engineering perspectives, and what kind of instructions should be given, and we consider the context to get the best performance, and which we have already learned how to do it. However, on the other hand, like general people, general users, they probably don't know how to ask or what the question will be. And from the high context to the low, and that kind of conversion is going to be necessary to provide the value. So for such a future direction, and we still have some time, so we can discuss in terms of the direction, and maybe you can give us one word or more, because we have a time. And what will be the future direction that we would like to head for? Do you have anything? So, Masa-san, can you start? And today, Merpay and Mercoin first that we are talking here, and Mercari Group. I'm not quite sure whether how the external people will look at us. However, that among the groups, I used to be in a Merpay, and then I went to so, and I came back to Mercari again. So the border is not that clear, and easy to collaborate with the group companies, and the findings can be shared as much as possible. And in terms of the future direction, in the product area, in Mercari Group, and there's a the variety of the data, and utilizing those data, and so that we'll be able to make more convenient experience to the customers, and in new ways that we would like to solve the current issues. That's what we would like to do. And because it's a new the technology, and therefore we would like to do that iteration cycle faster, and so that we can actually leverage the good part. And internal productivity perspectives, as I have mentioned before, generative AI, the users, which we would like to increase, so the skills need to be increased. And internal people should have more opportunity to use that technology. And to be able to familiar with. And we would like to provide the support for that. So the people who are interested in generative AI now, and please contact us to any team if you join our team, and you will have a great opportunity to play with it. And Tori-san, please. And simply speaking, and the technology has been evolved drastically. And in a simple manner, for the problems that only the LLM can solve, and such a product that and we would like to embed this technology to such kind of the product, and that's what I would like to release in order to collaborate with many people. And our team, we are waiting for people who are capable in it, and there's a QR code, and please read this, or please refer to the URL, and please apply for that position in our team. And at the very end, this is going to be the end. And if there's any the feedback or the comments, please put it into the questionnaire or the surveys. And Mase-san from Mercari and from Merpay, Tori-san, and you too. And I was facilitating. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you. With this, I would like to conclude. Thank you.